Turn on your sound, turn on your sound, and turn on your sound. Welcome to my Monday night training here on Think Great Lose Weight, where I am actually going to be talking about 6 health hacks to boost your digestion and reverse, potentially eliminate any of your symptoms. Did you know, hey mom, that there's 23.5 million cases of autoimmune disease, and there's actually over 80 different types of diagnosable or labeled, if you will, types of autoimmune disease. What's up, Joy? So, and you know what's even more interesting than that is that 75% of 23.5 million cases of autoimmune challenges, 75% come from women. Interesting. Here's what I put together on the correlation as to why I think that is so. Women have an area in their brain called the limbic brain. It's our emotional center, and it's literally 8 times larger than that of a male, which means that they are going to have a ton more emotions going on. And here's what is interesting for you. Here's where we go on some deep level stuff. And so, hey, if this is your first time, just type first timer. For those of my veterans that you feel called to share, please do, so that I can support your loved ones and your friends and your family. And I'm grateful for you. And for those of you that are newbie here, welcome aboard. You're in an amazing place. I love you. I appreciate you. And you are in a great spot of super amazing people. And for those of you down here on my personal page, Brian Johnson, make sure you also connect on our Think Great Lose Weight page, because sometimes the connection goes bad on my personal line. So back with where we were. Tonight we're talking about 6 health hacks to boost your digestion and reverse / potentially eliminate your gut challenges. All right. There's 23.5 million people on our United States that are impacted with irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, leaky gut, just immune system challenges that are autoimmune related. There's 23.5 million people, and 75% of them comes from women. Welcome, Deborah Smith. Welcome, Joseph. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Mike. So here's the important part. Like tonight, we're actually going to get into 6 different points. Okay. Point number 1 is going to be about the emotional belief systems. That's where our gut is literally where our emotional belief systems are all held. That's why that also correlates with me, at least with women, and why they would be more apt to coming down with these emotions. We're going to talk about that. Hey, Danny. Dun, dun, dun. We're going to talk about the environment. We're going to talk about pollution. And for those of you that have my notes and you would like to have my notes, if you don't, go to step 1 above and register. That way you can have them, because I literally have a whole ton of stuff. And I don't like calling it a cheat sheet. I say let's call it a reward sheet. How's that? A treasure trove. How's that? So we're going to talk about emotional belief systems. We're going to talk about environmental pollution. We're going to talk about vitamin and mineral deficiency. We're going to talk about what to avoid. And we're also going to talk about nutritional what-to-dos and lifestyle action steps, all right? So if this is your first time, just type first timer. Welcome aboard, Deborah. For those of you that are my veterans, what's up, Mike? I text messaged you a few days ago, my man. Hopefully you're doing well. Reach out and let's connect. So just a little bit about me. With your permission, I'm going to share a little bit about me as to why you may desire to hear what it is that I'm saying to you, and why I may be a somewhat credible source for you. So, humbly speaking, I started at a years of 7 years old doing this stuff. And I literally have well over 100,000 hours invested in this stuff. And it was never because I had to. It was because I loved it so much that I just constantly was consuming myself with learning how the body worked and learning how food worked. And along my way, I got pushed into some experiences dealing with terminal illnesses of people, and really kind of getting into understanding about nutrition hacks and like why kiwis reverse asthma, or why you can eat the asparagus and avocado seeds to reverse heart disease. Different things like this I started coming across, but then I really started getting into body language and language command. And in my opinion, I get to see miracles happen every day. every time that information is used, and tonight we'll actually get into some of it. So I've just been blessed to work with about 80,000 different people at this point, and there's nothing that I really haven't come across or been introduced to that's kind of off the wall or odd. So you're totally open-minded to share whatever comes up for you. My encouragement is for you to give me 1% of your trust, and undoubtedly I will earn the other 99. My invitation to you is to trust me. It's to follow my advice. It's to engage fully. It's to give yourself permission to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because I assure you, if you're on my training, it's because you are committed to being the best version of yourself. And naturally, that's only going to happen when you give yourself full permission to show up, give yourself full permission to be uncomfortable and to be vulnerable. You're in a safe space. We love you exactly where you're at. There's no judgment here. You have a great, amazing group of people here that I'm blessed to call family members. So welcome aboard for my newbies and for my veterans. I appreciate you. I love you. And matter of fact, for all my veterans that are in our Think Great Nutrition, our closed secret group tonight at 8 o'clock, as soon as I'm done on here, I'm coming to talk to you. We're going to talk about PMS. We're going to talk about how to avoid getting sick over the holidays. And those are just a couple of requests so far. I know a little bit about PMS, not from personal experience, just from people telling me some tools and tricks that we'll share. So tonight, if you're not in our nutrition, our Think Great Nutrition group, that comes as one of your bonuses when you invest in yourself in one of our programs, like our Emotional Breakthrough Series, which is only $97 tonight. And our Nutrition Empowerment Series, which is only $77 tonight as our Christmas special. So make sure you take action and take advantage of those while they're still here. So let's go ahead and get into number one. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Brandy, Jean Reed. If I didn't catch you, I will come back and catch you, okay? So let's talk about belief systems, right? Because the most important part that you're ever going to hear me discuss is going to be about belief systems. It's going to be about why does something show up in our body? Why do I come down with an autoimmune challenges? Or what gets to happen? Or what happens to allow me to come down with an autoimmune challenge? Like, let's talk about that. And let's get down to the nuts and the bolts or the root of the cause. Because the only way that you can actually make a difference in your life is to come down and to get clear with the root cause of why something's actually showing up. So we talked about it a little bit. Here's some things to be open-minded to. What's up, Tim? Hey, Tina. Hey, Mike. So most gut disorders, a lot of gut disorders are called leaky gut. If you've heard of the term leaky gut, just type a yes. Hey, Terry. Hey, Terry, how was your experience with our Emotional Breakthrough Series? So if you've heard of leaky gut, just type a yes, because we're going to go through that for a second. What's up, Nicole, my amazing Pilates instructor? Hey, Joy. I like your hair better, brunette, too. It's good to see you. Hey, Lynn. Yes. Hey, Cynthia. So, all right. So let's talk about this, okay? Because leaky gut is something that is extremely prevalent, and here's the reason why. So leaky gut comes from inflammation of our intestines, which means if we're having toxic foods, toxic waters, processed foods, and most importantly, if we are having negative thoughts and we're not letting go with ease, that is a problem. That is how things actually start to show up and start to wreak havoc. All right? So, what's up, Rebecca? It's extremely important. Like, your gut health, in my opinion, is probably one of the most important systems that you could possibly take care of. And if you're really looking to get into understanding all of the stuff about gut health and understanding what you could be saying and what you're holding on to emotionally and what foods you need to eat, all this stuff is in both of our series, our Emotional Breakthrough Series and our Nutrition Empowerment Series. Most gut challenges come from us, quote unquote, not letting go with ease. For example, if we have a former relationship maybe, where there is still some sour feelings, maybe some sour feelings around mom and dad that happened early in life, whatever it may be, when we're holding on and we're not forgiving and we're having resentment and we're having unforgiveness and things like that, it is dramatically impacting us. For example, when you have some unforgiveness towards someone or some resentment or whatever, it's literally like having a cup of poison and drinking it yourself and expecting the other person to get sick because of it. If that makes sense, just type a yes. Let's see where you're at. What's up, Wayne? What's up, Tim Hood? Did Jocelyn get connected with you? Oh, yeah, Tara has dropped 5 pounds this first week doing her nutrition program. Awesome job. She's also went through her body language series and her emotional breakthrough series and started. How are you feeling so far with all of it, champ? You've taken a mega dose. Awesome, Lynn. Hey, Jen. Perfect. Okay, so everyone's understanding that. That's good. Emotional breakthrough series was amazing. Awesome. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite ones too. Awesome. So, all right, so here we go, okay? So one of the keys is for gut health. Hey, Melissa. Melissa, this is for you specifically. One of the keys for gut health is saying this affirmation. I can love what I feel. I give myself permission to feel my feelings. Why is this important? Because if we shut down our feeling world, that's our subconscious. And what happens is it doesn't go away. A feeling buried alive never dies. As a matter of fact, it will start to create issues in our body that show up in the form of heart attacks from having resentment, which is suppressed love. It could be liver cirrhosis, which is resentment. It could be a number of different things. And all this stuff we talk about in our series. But giving yourself permission to let go with ease and to love your feelings is super important, okay? Now, let's talk about some environmental pollution because I'm not sure where you're at in the world. And for mine, there's been all kinds of stuff sprayed in our skies today because there's a lot of breeze going through because it's super cold right now. So, hey, if you haven't shared and you're one of my veterans, please do. I appreciate you. And if you're a first timer and you feel like sharing, I am honored that you would do so and grateful too and gladly return the favor. So environmental pollutions, there's consistently stuff that is pumped into our air, pumped into our water, pumped into our food. We have more toxins today than we ever have in our life, and it's only going to get worse. Thank you, Jennifer Cole. It's only going to get worse, okay? The key is like, what can we do to empower ourselves with the right information to thrive? Because I assure you, no matter what comes, God has created us with resiliency. God has created us with amazing foods that give us the wisdom and give our bodies the wisdom. What's up, Steve-O? They give our bodies the necessary information, frequencies, foods, emotional energies. All of this stuff is available to resolve anything that's going to happen from an environmental level. So for those of you that know, this right here is a nuclear receptor, which means my necklace here takes Wi-Fi's, EMS, Bluetooth, negative energies from phones, and it runs them through that little amethyst crystal, and it shoots them around those 144 pyramids that are set up in a Fibonacci sequence and a scalar wave, and it gets out the back of that hole, and it doesn't impact my system. That is something you can use to mitigate electronic pollutions or EMFs, all right? There's also something I have on the back of my phone called a Q disc, the letter Q disc, SC. And that actually helps to take and make all the signals coherent, which is super important, okay? One of the most important things for gut health is our gut bacteria. We have 4 pounds of gut bacteria. 4 pounds of gut bacteria. 4 pounds of gut bacteria. And when you're healthy, ideally it should be 80% good and 20% bad. 80% good, 20% bad. Okay? One of the most important things to do is to be careful of processed foods. I'm talking about balance. There's no way to be perfect, so don't even think about perfection. Think about progress, not perfection. Okay? That way you can have a consistently moving forward, logical, rational mindset versus being a perfectionist, which means you have no standards because perfection doesn't even exist. Period. You have no standards being a perfectionist because there's no way to qualify that. There's no way to get data off of that to make decisions. So the idea is progress, not perfection. The rules in your life are set up. You get to set them up. So create them where it makes you win. If you got a rule that's creating you to feel bad, change it. That's right, Steve-O. So, artificial sweeteners are very important to avoid. They are neurotoxins, which means artificial sweeteners and Tylenol, any prescription medication, will dumb down and dull down your brain frequency so that you cannot transmit signals and create effectively, because the transmissions that are putting out are muffled and they're not coherent. They're not strong enough to get out. So if you're meditating and you're thinking about things and you're looking to create some different things, if you're taking artificial sweeteners and you're eating processed foods and you're on medications, Tylenols, specific things are going to knock down your brain's ability to transmit out energy signals. And that also means to receive energy signals. So be very mindful of that. And what's very interesting too is, did you know that sugar actually impacts the same area of our brain as cocaine and heroin? No wonder why sugar's like drugs. When I have a sugar binge, I feel it for 3 days. Sugar will create massive inflammations and massive issues in your body. And if you're craving sugars all the time, there's some things that get to be addressed, some potential doubts and candida maybe. Your nutrition is off. You may have parasites, which means pair of sights, not just two, but you're looking through two different set of eyes or lenses, which is conflict. If you have parasites, your upper and lower jaws are probably going to be pretty tense, probably grinding of the teeth. Parasites means you're looking through two different sets of lenses, and obviously that's going to create conflict rather than seeing as one, which is key. All right? Now, gut bacteria, cocaine, transmissions, highly addictive part of our brain. So, hey, transitioning for a moment. If you have not registered or enlisted for our Nutrition Empowerment Series or our Emotional Breakthrough Series, this is your last week. The specials are as such. I'm not going to get into them too much. I'm just going to present them to you. Our Nutrition Empowerment Series is only $77 right now. That's literally $402 or $420 off the retail price, right? It's 6 hours of nutritional education, going through all of your different foods, going through different dietary theories, helping you to get an amazing foundation of what it takes for you to be effective. Number 2, our Emotional Breakthrough Series is only $97, which is $400 off the price tag. Okay, that's going to take you through all your language commands, all the things you hear me talk about. I give myself permission to be comfortable being uncomfortable. All of the language commands that help you to recognize self-sabotage and shift into self-empowerment, that's available to you. There's 3 or 4 bonuses as well. 3, number 1, you're going to get MP3s or the audio versions to both of those, either one you get or both of them. Second thing you're going to get a private coaching call with me to have a conversation around your life and around what you're looking to create, so I can help you to start to integrate skill sets and help you on your 2017 transformation. That's $1,000 worth of free value right there. Bonus number 3, you're added to our closed Facebook group. That's another $1,000 value where you have unlimited support from us and our tribe. And tonight at 8 o'clock, as soon as I'm done here, I go over to our own closed Facebook group where we're going to have a conversation with just our family so they can ask whatever questions and whatever things they would like to discuss. This is specifically for our group. So that's your bonuses. If you haven't taken advantage of it, I would highly encourage you to do so, for sure. So let's talk about vitamin and mineral deficiencies, all right? So one of the things to be very mindful of is if we're having challenges with our nutrition and our gut is completely impacted. Like, when I say impacted, did you know that most people have anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds of undigested fecal matter in their intestinal tract? That means it's just taking up space. That means it's also inhibiting us from uptaking nutrients into our body, which is super important. If you have the emotional belief system of I don't love myself and I'm not worthy, you're going to have a challenge absorbing nutrients. What's up, Adam Jepson? If that makes sense, just say yes. If you do not love yourself and you have some resistance toward yourself, you're literally not going to be able to assimilate your food. If you have a challenge with that, or you're like, you know what, I'm not sure if I love myself or not, just type a yes. And let's kind of see where you're at, because this is important. And if it's what I think it is, we're going to talk more on it now, so that way I can support you. So question on the table, if you're challenging of not understanding how to love yourself or not if you love yourself, that's going to be important because through enzymes and through foods and things like that, you're not going to be able to do it. My personal page went off. So, hey, my personal page down here, I encourage you to go to Think Great Lose Weight because this one actually is cutting off. So go up to Think Great Lose Weight because that's why you got cut off for a few minutes there. So, all right, stressors. Dehydration is a huge deal. You see me drinking lots of water. And I'm honestly not even drinking enough. The most important part to understand when you're drinking water is that is your feeling world. When someone is dehydrated, this means they do not want to feel, which is important. Dehydration means I don't want to feel. A lot of people who have constipation, who have IBS issues, who have leaky gut and other things like that, a lot of them are completely dehydrated. Here, let's be honest. Most of the population is dehydrated. Like we have this machine when we measure body fat with people who are local that measures their body fat too and measures their hydration. We've had some people who were 29 or 39% hydrated, which is ridiculously low. Super low. So much so that you can pull their skin up and it will stand up there. Hydration is very important. And I tell everybody, look, it's like if I had to give away all my gadgets and only keep one of them, I would totally keep my water machine because it hydrates me better than anything I've ever had. Because it's got a restructured water molecule, which means the water molecule is like 2/3 the size of a normal one. So here's an example of that. Hey, Hannah. If you were to take a handful of golf balls and throw them through a chain link fence, you're probably going to get a few. That's agreeable and fair to agree on. Yes? Yes. Now, if you were to take a handful of marbles and do the same thing, can we agree that the ability of that water molecule to get through the chain link fence is dramatically impacted because the surface tension level is dramatically impacted. So that means that oxygen gets there. That means that nutrients get there. That means that toxins remove out faster. Like it's by far jet fuel. I personally have seen people come off of transplant lists because of it. I've seen my own bulldog. Check this out. Here. This is when Riley was like 2 or 3. That's my big bulldog right there. And it was a point in time when he was going to die. I could have swore he was. He had spots all over him. He was just limping around. His feet were really swollen. Like he was bad. Like I was like, man, I'm going to have to go take him and get him put down. Long story short is I had my Kangen water machine. I started giving him water. And in 2 weeks, his life dramatically changed. Like he would get up at 20 degrees outside and at 12 years old would get up when people would come over to the house and he'd run over and he would hump them. And that's how I know that he was healthy, that he was feeling good. So due to water, that's basically what turned all that around, which got his hormones boosted again, which got all of his pains and inflammations down, got his digestion better, cleared his skin up, all that stuff. So, yes, it is. Lack of water. And also, too, more than that, Steve, suppressed love. Heart attacks is caused by suppressed love. And lack of water means I don't want to feel. For those of you down here on my personal page, hop up to Think Great Lose Weight. It keeps going out. So here's some things you can do to improve your hydration. Drinking water is ideal. That's without a doubt, that's number one. Cut your sodas out. Or if you're going to have a soda, have one on every Thursday or Friday. Okay? Yeah, you can. Jocelyn will help you to do that. Text message Jocelyn Britton, Mike. Or I can help you later. Dehydration, processed foods, lack of fiber from vegetables. And this is one of the reasons why I like blending more than I do juicing. I still drink juices on occasions. And if I'm going to actually drink a smoothie, I will drink a blended one because I prefer to have all the skins, the seeds, and the rinds in there to help with the exit strategy as well. So blending is super important. When you're talking digestion challenges and autoimmune, like one of the most important things that you could do is actually use blended smoothies, because there is so many medicines and micronutrients that God has positioned in there that have thousands of other cofactors each time that can dramatically help you to absorb nutrients, to reverse your pH, and to incorporate or exhibit or induce a phase 2 enzyme process. A phase 2 enzyme process means that it's causing every cell in your body to detoxify. Vegetables are the only things that can do that on our planet. I'm going to repeat that. Vegetables are the only things that can do that on our planet, period. Detoxification doesn't need to be one every 6 months to a year. It needs to be every day. You're having asparagus, you're drinking water, you're sweating, you're sitting in the dry sauna, you're doing sweaty yoga, you're doing Bikram, whatever maybe you do, getting outside and sweating, or getting in a class and sweating. And for those of you that are in very cold cities right now that have very little sun, you need to figure out how to get some sunlight, at least 15 minutes. Maybe you get a sun lamp. I know Tara said she had a sun lamp, all right? So prescription medicines can totally cause constipation. Antibiotics kill good bacteria. Medically resistant staph infection is actually created by superbugs. When someone has too many antibiotics, it kills all the bacteria, and then what happens is, the good bacteria, and then what happens is you get these superbugs that are created that have gotten medically resistant to all the antibiotics. So a lot of you may already know this, and I haven't been sick in 25 years now. And it's only because I understand what to do. When I hear my body starts telling me my throat gets sore, I load up on some echinacea, some vitamin C, probiotics, hit the sack, and I'm usually good the next morning, okay? You can do the same thing. Every bit of this information is in our Nutrition Empowerment series. It's also loaded in our Emotional Breakthrough series with all the emotional commands, because this is the most important part. I invite you to open your mind to what I'm about to share with you. You ready? Perfect. We break down emotionally before it shows up physically. Now, yes, there's stuff that's genetically enhanced and genetically passed on through moms and dads. There's a big debate you can get into about that. Just understand, when you start coming down with something, it typically happens emotionally first before it shows up physically. All right? Some things to understand about the vitamin and mineral deficiency and internal pH. Make sure you stay alkaline as often as possible, meaning alkaline, meaning vegetables, meaning alkaline water, meaning lots of oxygen, deep breaths, because most human beings are acidic, which means that we are acid-based. Acid-based eats our tissues, eats our bone tissue, eats everything. It is scientifically proven that you will live longer in an alkaline state of living as often as possible. Your hormones will work better, you will sleep better, you will have more energy, you will have better complexion, your skin will feel better, your muscles, like hands down, being alkaline is going to allow you to feel much better. Welcome, Cheryl Lynch. So for those of you down here on my personal page, the connection keeps going out. I invite you to jump up to Think Great, Lose Weight, so that way you're not distracted. So, all right, a little bit more. So what to avoid? Also, too, an acidic connection in acidic bodies, fibromyalgia is a big one. Pain and inflammation is a big one. So here's some things to avoid. Too much cooked food. Too much cooked food causes digestive leukocytosis, which means that when we have too much cooked food, our immune system starts to attack that food. So it's ideal to have a 50 to 60% raw versus cooked food if you're looking to make a big difference. If you're not, keep doing what you're doing. Okay, I'm not telling you I don't eat raw all the time. I'm just giving you real feedback. If you do desire to, then that's what you can expect. Okay? High food allergens, which is a big deal. When we have leaky gut and we have digestive challenges, that'll definitely create an issue. All right? So, immune stimulating foods, very important. If someone has high white blood cell count, that means their immune system is already too high. So you have to be mindful of not eating shiitakes or foods like echinacea that will boost your immunity even more because it boosts your white blood cell count. So make sure you actually... Oh, you did get your stuff in today, Steve? Perfect. Tonight before you go to bed, take a dose. So, next thing, what to avoid. Holding on to emotions. What do I mean? I mean, when something happens, set your mind on forgiveness already. Set your mind on forgiveness now so that when it does happen, hey, Heather McKissick, set your mind on forgiveness now. So when it does happen, notice I didn't say if it does happen, because anytime you're dealing with human beings, expectations are not always met. As Tony Robbins would say, trade your expectations for your appreciations. But just understand, set your mind on forgiveness, because that is one of the most bitter, death-inducing mental capacity states that you possibly could be in. So set your mind on forgiveness. So that's all we got for tonight. If you haven't got involved in our Nutrition Empowerment Series and our Emotional Breakthrough Series, you have a limited time before they go back up, because we're ending our Christmas specials this week, Sunday. So our Emotional Breakthrough Series is only $97. That's $400 off. And our Nutrition Empowerment Series is only $77. That's $420 off. So here's your bonuses. Number one, you're going to get added to our closed Facebook group. We're literally at 8 o'clock tonight. We're having our first live training where I'm going through and connecting just with my fam, answering questions about some things that were asked in our group this week. But this is where you can get added support, consistent support, being with a group of like-minded people. This is part of your tuition. It's a $1,000 value. Number two, you get a private coaching call with me to discuss your unique situation. That's a $1,000 value. If you were to say, hey, Brian, I'd like to buy an hour of your time, that's kindly what you would be paying. Number three, you're actually going to get the audio versions to either of the programs. And here's the thing. If you haven't gotten neither one of them and you decide to do two of them, give me a call. I'll work a special bonus out for you off something else. I'll give you some freebies in there. So that's all that I have right now. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. I will be available via the land of be available via the land of the interwebs and the Facebook. So just shoot me a message if you have a question. If I can get you set up, I would love to talk to you, and I would love to get you set up for our conversation. After you've enlisted and after you've enrolled, let me know so we can get you added to our group and get you part of the family. And you can even catch a training tonight in 30 minutes on our closed Facebook group. So have an amazing night. I love you. I appreciate you. Set your mind on forgiveness. Start taking probiotics. Give yourself permission to love what you feel. And give yourself permission to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because the only thing that's for sure, that's the truth and gonna happen, is change. So when you expect it and you can start bobbing and weaving with life, it's gonna make it much more interesting. And when you start having more tools, more consciousness tools, and you're upgrading your operating software from 1970s or 1980s downloads, and you're getting some 2017s and 18s in the form of emotional breakthrough, language codes, language commands, all that fun stuff, your life is going to change fast. So have an amazing day. Remember, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness. Bye-bye.